Hello, everyone. It's been quite a crazy week here. Had my son's second birthday on Monday and a bunch of activities with the family throughout the week. So apologize again for the late posting. Hopefully this will be the last time. It's a little bit later than I want it to be. But let's move on to this week's topic, trends, measuring, and reporting. So I don't remember if I put it in my intro video, but back in November I was actually promoted to the team lead of the team that I had previously been working on. And the reason I bring this up is because in my new role I have started seeing a lot more of what I call managerial data. And what I mean by that is it's basically some reports on top of some more reports sprinkled with maybe a few more reports. But all joking aside, within these reports I get a ton of data, and it is come to me as part of my job to sort through them to find what's relevant to me and my team and overall success of our contract. So in my role, there are two crucial items that I need to keep track of. Mainly are the KPIs and then the adherence to policies set forth by our customer. Relevant to this discussion, I'll be sticking to the KPI part of that. Like I said, I'd like to focus on the KPI as I think it's relevant to this week's topic, and it's not just because it's part of our ratings, but because it's actually something that's pretty important to my team. So for me, there are a few key KPIs that I focus on my team, but the biggest one is our SLA response and SLA resolution times. So every week, my team gets, or I get a weekly report that has the SLAs for each of my techs that work for me, and we get this, like I said, we get it weekly, but it's all based on a month. So, and this report goes back 6 months. So each month you get the percentage of your resolution and SLA resolution times and acknowledgement times. So since it breaks it down monthly, it's part of my responsibility to compare each week's report with the new one, because to get anything from it and to make sure we're improving if we need to, or whatever, I need to compare each week so I can see if my techs are, like I said, if they're improving or if they're staying green where they're supposed to be, or if they're for some reason getting worse and falling into the red. So based on what I find, I try and find trends in this data. Are any of my techs struggling, or all of them struggling, or just one? If it is all of them, was there something going on in our environment that could have impacted our scores or our SLAs? And if it's just one person, is there something going on at his or her site, or is there something else going on in their life, or are they just missing their goals? So all of this is stuff that I have to take into consideration when I'm reporting my findings to my boss, which I typically do bi-weekly with him. And I also have to have a plan if, let's say, we have somebody that's in either the yellow or the red for our SLAs. We come up with some sort of action plan for that particular tech. Or for the team if it's a team-wide type of thing. So as an example, in the last week of January, our client started a massive rollout of in-place upgrades of Windows 10. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever done in-place upgrades of an OS within a environment. Let's just say it's got some challenges, but it's good stuff to learn how to do. But the project, so since I should explain, my company I work for is actually contracted by a larger company, so they kind of outsource their IT to us. So we're not always involved in all of the product planning. So this project was basically sprung on us 5 days before they planned to launch it into the production environment. And from what I've been able to find and see, it doesn't seem like they did a whole lot of testing in the test environment beforehand. So the product started, they told us that they were experiencing about a 10% failure rate. And in the U.S. alone, we have about 3,000 computers that are being upgraded as part of this project. So if you take 10% of that in the U.S., you're talking about 300 computers. Luckily, they started off with a chunk of about 600 as the first target group. But even if you take that, 10% is 60 computers on top of all of the normal work that we have. So another, I guess, before I move on, another good thing that I should mention also is that since at this point it's a voluntary upgrade, so we don't have all 600 going on at once. People are able to pick and choose when they do it at this time. There is a mandatory completion date of the end of March, but we haven't forced anything yet, luckily. So the product started, but once it did, we found that the upgrades started failing a lot higher than 10%. We're looking at about a 20% failure, almost 25% in the very beginning. Like I said, it's probably leveled off to about 20% failure rate. But if you're talking 20% failed computers in our environment on top of the normal break fix stuff, it is stretching our resource pretty thin. So this upgrade project has basically quadrupled our break fix tickets, and as you can imagine, it's also caused some SLA breaches because of this, because they didn't give us any additional resources for our team, and it created about 4 times as much work. So when you have more work but the same amount of people, things suffer, no matter how hard everyone's working. Now, to get this back to the topic at hand, I was going through my numbers on Friday, and like I said, every single tech I have has a negative trend to their SLA KPI, both with acknowledgement times and resolution times. And since this is a big project, luckily we're getting some leniency with the client, mainly because they told us that our main focus is to fix anybody's upgrade that failed, because essentially they're dead in the water if it didn't succeed. Excuse me. Now I can take these data points and use the negative trends to show that our team was stretched pretty thin. So I was able to bring this data to my boss and convince him to bring in a few additional resources to help this project. And luckily the client also looked at that data and took it and agreed that it would be helpful to bring in a couple of ringers, if you will, to help start with the ticket and getting our SLAs back on track where they need to be. So this is just one example of how I use our KPIs to influence the team and our environment, and I look forward to hearing from everyone else, and I will post my comments to your guys' videos this week. I hope you guys all have a good week, and I look forward to hearing from you.